What is up, everyone? Welcome to another installment. We're making something out of this world today. We've got an alien. Someone sent me a picture of a mask that he has, and it's a silicone mask at a very, very good price, and he wants to be able to sell a head-to-toe costume with a silicone mask for the same price as normal silicone masks go for. So, this is the alien robe that's going to go with it. Now, let's talk about this design a little bit. We decided to go with more of a robe and not pants. He wanted pants, but pants are much harder to fit people. This robe is universal. You know, the robe doesn't have a waistband that needs to stay up. You could be wide, narrow, tall, short, and still pull off a robe. You know, if it's too big, cinch it with a belt. If it's too long, cut it. So this design is more universal. It'll fit more people. The neck hole is big because the mask has, it's a full mask. It's got carving all the way down the neck area. So you want to be able to see that person didn't do that artwork for nothing. And the hole in the neck is big, so you can put it on after you put your mask on. Anyway, let's get started. For fabrics, I want it blue, but I want it to look a bit alien. So I got this weird cobwebby stuff. It's hard to see it when it's all. I think once you put this over this fabric, it'll look like circuitry. And it looks more alien. But I'm going to cut these two out separately because the width of both fabrics is different. See, you've got 6 inches of width on this fabric than you do this one. So it's going to lay out totally differently. So because of that, I have more of the dark blue fabric than I have this. Because I have more width there, I need more linear feet here. Always check the widths of your fabrics. So what pattern are we going to use? You got it. The Old Faithful. McCall's 2233. This pattern has been many things, but it has never been a chef. So what is our next step? Because we've got a shirt pattern here, but we need a long robe. So now I find my tape measure. Okay, so let's just say average human. Between 5'9", 5'11". Let's just go on the 5'11" to 6 feet side. But you're not that tall from your shoulder down. We're going to measure from the highest point of the shoulder. Down to about 60 inches, which is 5 feet. It's about a foot tall. What we want to do, I want to pitch this out and make it kind of roby. So I'm going to angle out from the armpit down. All the way down to that mark I made at 60 inches. And now we have our belled robe. Okay? You're not going to go straight across here either. You're going to go at a little curve. Little curve. Alright, I'm going to leave this pinned in because we're going to be pinning it to the other fabric later on to get our overlay piece. So we're just going to fold this up. I'm going to set it aside because we're also going to use this piece when we measure off our front piece. So then that way I don't have to do the measurements. I can just lay that on top, match the side seams, and then we have our length. So let's do that front piece now. That is going to end up having a seam in it now. But it's going to be okay. Most of it's going to get covered by this little robe adornment. Okay. I'm going to be putting a zipper in this, but I don't need all of this extra. This is put on here because you need to make it stable for buttonholes. We're not doing all that. We're doing a little zipper that doesn't need to be bulky. So we're just going to fold that over and give ourselves a tiny selvage to fold over and make our zipper lips. Alright, there we go. Now all we gotta do is cut. Okay, so now we've got both pieces altered as robe pieces. Trim off this center here. There we are. Now, let's see. No, I didn't think so. What am I doing? Well, the fabric wasn't wide enough for the sleeve to fit. So, I cut the size of my sleeve out. Well, I measured it off twice for how wide I need it. And I made me a bigger piece of fabric. Pretty much. This way I can make the fabric as wide as I need, and it's as long as the length with the sleeve is not going to be that long. So. We need a belled sleeve. Average sleeve length is about 25 inches to 28. But chances are they might have some cool alien latex gloves. I don't know if they're coming with this costume. It's something somebody can certainly acquire. I'll measure off to 27 inches. So there's 27 down there. Now that I've cut this, I can take this negative space and make my lining. Yes, I can! Look at that. Alright. Alright. Got my sleeve. Got my little piece that I'm going to put over the sleeve. And it is just slightly longer than where I had marked it, which is perfect because once I put stuffing in here, it's going to raise this up and make it shorter, coming over the stuffing and making it 3D. And I think what I'm going to do not do mesh over the bumps on the sleeve. Make that stand out a little. Okay, now it's time to make this alien's vestments. We're making this top piece. Okay, so what I've done here is I've got my fabric piece and it's folded in half. So you got your regular width that is naturally comes folded over. Then I folded it over again. I have a new center line. And what I'm going to do Gonna use one of the pieces I already have. Gonna use the front. What we need here is our basic length. We don't want it as long as the robe. We just want it slightly shorter. That's a perfect amount left to give me my collar and my arm caps. I'm just gonna lob it off right here. Perfect. Okay, so the reason that I put this on here, in addition to trying to get the length, is I want to get this neck shape right here. We're not covering the whole thing. And I'm actually not using this actual neck shape. This is just a guide. Alright, so I'm going to draw it all the way to the edge. I really only want it to come probably about right there. Alright, done with this. I'm making a boat type neck. So this needs to come down wider on the sides. I want you to be able to put your head through it with the mask on. Alright, so in the drawing I did like a little curvature in. Alright, now I want this line to be straight. So mind you, I'm cutting through 4 layers of heavy duck canvas. Looky there. I have a collar already. This will work perfect. Alright, this is probably too long, but I'd rather it be too long than too short. That's our collar. Now we need to figure out how we're going to do these capped sleeve pieces. I think if we make football shapes, we should be fine. And it's not going to be a perfect football shape, but okay, let's put our cut pieces away. And cut some strips out of that, but I forgot I don't have the blue, and I need to go run next door to Hobby Lobby and get it. Yep, that's gonna work perfect. I might even do a little clippy, cup it in there. Perfect. Alright. That's cut out. Next thing we need to do is sew this sucker together. So I'm gonna go get that blue and we'll cut those out. I'll cut the strips out together so they'll be the same size. Okay, so I went and got my blue fabric, and I've cut it into strips. I just bought a ½ yard, and that gave me enough to make 6 strips. So now I'm using that strip as a guide to cut my purple. Okay. Everything's cut out. Let's go sew it all together. Alright, so I got my shoulder seams matched together, and that's what we're going to put together first. Before I start adding too much to this, I want to add my trim pieces. I am not fast forwarding through all this. It's a pain in the ass to put these on. This fabric, y'all. doesn't like the needles, even if you use a stretch needle. It likes to pinch and stretch on you all at the same time. Yeah. So, anyway, I've got my little ribbings on here. I didn't film it because, you know, even though these videos aren't really made for kids, I'd like children to watch them and not learn some new curse words. So, yeah, I got this on now. And now I'm going to put the collar on, which is good old canvas. Okay, so it's folded in half, and I've got my center mark here. And I've got a mark of the center line here. That's where I'm going to start. Because I just cut this out. There wasn't a pattern piece. It's just a random piece. I want to be sure it meets in the center in the back. Alright. Trim off this excess. And I'm going to stitch this down. Alright, so before we turn this right side, I need to do that little clippy thing. Lovely. Alright. One more time dealing with this fabric on these arm caps. Okay, so we need one blue and one purple, and I need them to stack on each other. Glad there's only 2 of these. Oh. Anyway, it came out kind of nice, as much as it frustrated me. That's what I wanted it to do. I mean, turn out that way, not frustrate me. Alright, so now I'm going to add these to this, but my tummy was just growling, so I'm going to stop and eat. I got that top piece together. I'm going to show you all that in just a minute. First, let me show you this. I put my layers together. So I've got my sheer layer and my cotton fabric layer. So my whole thinking in this fabric right here was that it looked like some weird circuitry. That's why I chose that. So I wanted to put it against a dark background. And I didn't want my blue to be so solid and boring. I'm joining my shoulder pieces together now. Next we'll be putting the sleeves together. Because the sleeves are going to be part overlay and then part quilted, puffy craziness. So, yeah. Toss a hem on here real quick. Now you can see that edge, but we wanted to make it look nicer. So let's toss that to the side right now, and here we have our sleeve. I need to find something to stuff this with. But first, I'm going to sew this down to each sleeve. Now I know I'm not going to make 2 left sleeves or 2 right sleeves. I made sure they were sewn down on the right side. Okay, I'm gonna go find something to make this puffy layer with. Got some 1/2-inch foam. That'll be perfect. So I just sewed it to where it has a nice finished edge here. And then I stitched it down onto the wrong side. Now I'm going to place my foam in here. I'm going to just stitch this down the side to make sure it stays in place. Well, look at that. Alright, let's make some channels. It's really gonna stand out. Alright, so that's the sleeve. That's how you put it together. You and I just learned how to get it. I've never made anything like this. See, it looks nice on the edge. That looks real nice. Clean edge. Alright. Right on. When I sew this together, my lines are gonna match. Yeah! Got my sleeve all puffy. Got one of them off. One of them's on. We're gonna put this other one on. Got our sleeve on. We got a top stitch down. Right sides together. And now my robe is made. Oh wait, no. Okay, so you see this? How that's ugly, and then you got a big bell sleeve, so you're gonna see that from the outside. So what I did, and what I'm gonna do here, is I put a little piece of bias over it and just covered it up. It looks much better than foam sticking out. That foam sticking out just takes away all the magic. Ta! That looks nicer. Ooh, I see I didn't catch it here. Let me just catch it. There we go. Alright, let's take this bad boy and put it right side out. Y'all don't need to see all this. Next shot's on a mannequin. Alright. It needs some distressing, just a little bit. I don't like how clean that edge is. I'm going to rough it up. And I just painted the symbol on, so that's a little wet. We're going to let that dry overnight. Yeah. Alright. We got our alien here. He's dry. Tatted up the edge a little bit. I don't want to make him super distressed. I mean, he's an alien. He just needs to look well trapped. So, we got super thin wash of black. I'm just going to hit the edges. And I'm going to hit some of the silver to kind of tone it down a bit. And that's all we're going to do. And then we're going to be done with this video. I think that's going to do it. We'll let him dry. Yeah. Alright, so thank y'all for joining us. Keep watching. We're gonna keep making.
it seems like I've been uploading a video every Monday, so, you know, that seems to be the groove I've fallen in. You know, edit all weekend and then upload Sunday night into Monday morning. So please subscribe, please keep liking, ask us questions. I'm happy to answer questions. So, but that's it that we have for today. So in the meantime, be nice to each other.